Hello everybody.
Hello everybody.
You've just been making me laugh.
Well, she just poked me in the eye. I mean, what's all that about?
I didn't mean to.
Huh?
Anyway, that's not the subject.
Okay.
Hello, how are you? Hope you're all well. Nice to
Yes.
see you. We decided to do a video. We've been wanting to do this one for a while because it was something that came to our minds because we've had so many people asking us different questions since we've left the JWs, and we decided to make a list of the different things that we've done, and we've decided to call it the JW bucket list. So this isn't a bucket list of things to do before you die, as the old saying of bucket list. This is the things to do to break you free from the Watchtower mentality.
Well, when I say to break you free, it might be completely different
Your
from
list
ours.
will not be the same as our list.
No, some of them might be the same, and I'm sure you might nod to some of them, and others you might go, oh, good grief, no, I couldn't do that, or I wouldn't want to do that. It's not in my conscience, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So, but everybody's different, and what we're saying is this is our list. And when we wrote them down, it made us realise just how far we've come, really.
And without even realising it, how that had actually helped us almost go over hurdles. So if you can imagine a running track for an athlete and seeing all of these barriers, and every time you jump, you look at it first of all and you think that's a massive task ahead, huge hurdles in front of me. But every time you jump one, you're getting nearer and nearer.
Yeah, it's a milestone.
And the braver you feel, the more confident you feel, because you're starting on your journey, and then you can see an end, and then you can see the clear track in front of you at the end of it and think, do you know what, I'm now free to run where I want to go. There's no more barriers in front of me to have to overcome.
You're
apart
free
from everyday life barriers that everybody has.
Paying bills and things like that.
Things like that, everyday stuff.
But when we first started doing YouTube videos, we realised that what we were going to do is share with whoever was going to listen out there. We weren't sure if anybody would, but just a journey with us. And so really, we're not saying this is the end of the journey, far from it, but so far each one of these that we bring out now in this bucket list, we could probably write quite a story on each one. This boundary that Cora's just mentioned that we've broken through, and on to the next thing. So some of them will be very obvious, others won't be.
Well, because we left in November 2011, that was obviously coming up. The next season would be Christmas. So for us, as ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, the first thing we did was think, does that mean we should do Christmas? Can we do Christmas? Should we? Well, we want to, but are we allowed? Can we? So we went straight to a shop in the UK called The Range, and I want money for that, by the way. It's an advertisement. I'm joking. I'm joking.
What are you like?
It's like you can have the Coke sign and the Pepsi signs and stuff, and advertisements. Anyway, joking. We went to this shop and we got this trolley, and we were walking round, and we were walking up and down the Christmas aisles, which, by the way, I love doing anyway. Even when I was a Jehovah's Witness, I'm being truthful. I used to walk down those, and you know how they say you can't even listen to the Christmas songs, you've got to block them out of your mind, la 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 la, don't listen to them. Well, we were walking down these aisles putting baubles and little decorations in our trolley, going, oh, we feel really naughty, and looking over our shoulders, who's watching what we're doing.
We did feel guilty. We felt very sort of almost intimidated by the whole event. Walking through a shopping mall, as you call it in America, but a supermarket over here, actually going down this Christmas aisle, picking stuff up and actually putting it in our trolley. Wow. And
it was a massive thing. And when we got home, we were looking at all our bits, and that first Christmas that we had was quite a small, very modest Christmas. And then with one tree that was an artificial tree.
Things have changed.
And then and Charlie, our daughter Charlotte, bought a little bauble saying "My First Christmas," which would normally be for a newborn baby having their first Christmas, but in her eyes, she was a newborn baby having her first Christmas. So it's lovely because she now has a bauble that says "My First Christmas," and it comes out every year.
So.
But anyway, every year it's got bigger and bigger.
It's got bigger and bigger.
So it's lovely in this house now. Anyway, that's our own personal view.
And we know there are lots of ex-JWs that don't celebrate Christmas.
That's absolutely fine too.
No, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. We're not saying you should do it. We're not saying you shouldn't.
No.
We're just saying this is something that we decided that we wanted to do.
So that was kind of on our list. Tick.
Yeah.
And a barrier, and now there's no barriers.
And there's no barriers with that. It's a festive season and we go for it. And also included in that is New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
We
always
enjoy
wanted
that one too.
to bring the new year in,
Yeah.
but never really could do it in
No.
a way where it was obvious to
For
everybody.
us, these festives, and I'm going to come on to a couple more in a minute, are just expressions of love as far as we're concerned to those that are our family, and also to our friends and people that we're very close to. So it's a good time for just to get together and
And
share.
New Year's bringing in the new year,
Yeah.
and say, let's
Optimism.
hope that this year's a good year. And
Bring
it's
us- yeah,
optimism.
it is about
looking
optimism.
forward to
Yeah.
life.
And building things up rather than tearing things down. Another one, birthdays.
Birthdays.
Well, that was another big one. I mean, we've all had
We've all had
different birthdays.
I think so. We've
1-year-old
all had
and-
3 or 4 now.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that, yeah. But it's fantastic because we get to express the love we have for our family members.
Sure.
What I could never understand was, as a Jehovah's Witness, my mother and my grandmother would always ring us on the birthday.
Yeah.
So my grandparents and my mum would ring me on my birthday and say, I'm thinking of you today.
Thinking of you today.
Without actually saying happy birthday.
Yeah, we're thinking of you
But
today.
the ironic thing is, now that we've left the JWs and actually celebrate our birthdays, we get nada.
Nada.
Nothing.
Nada.
Not a call.
Well, you know why,
not
darling?
a text.
It's because
nothing.
we're dead.
We're dead.
We're dead to them.
But I
There
mean,
you
I
go.
know that my mum's not here anymore to do it, but my grandmother's still alive. But I
Yeah.
don't get anything at
No.
all. And I can guarantee you she still does it for all the other grandchildren because it's just something they did.
I know.
Anyway, birthdays, wonderful expression of being able to say, I'm so happy on this day you were born and I love you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
I'm so glad that you're
What was
here
all-
in the world
what was all that
with
about
our life.
with the Watchtower telling us a birthday is a selfish event. Actually, it's not.
That
It's
could be
once
like-
again, it's an expression of love to that person that you can say, this is another year of your life that we're celebrating here.
Even the angels celebrated Christ's birth.
Oh, I tell
When he
you.
was born, the angels in the heavens were in chorus, in complete an explosion of sound.
Yeah.
Joyous at the occasion, so there you go. Anyway,
Well, there's another couple, 3 and 4. Mother's Day and Father's Day.
Yeah.
Why on earth can't the Watchtower at least celebrate that one? Mother's Day and Father's Day. What is so wrong with that? Really? It does make you wonder, doesn't it? I suppose once again it's making somebody feel special. It's actually giving them something on a day to say, we love you. And so the Watchtower wants to reject that outright because the expression of love on such an event like this it's just something that is completely foreign to them. They don't want to do it. So for us, Mother's and Father's Day,
it's lovely.
It's
There's
a great thing.
another excuse for me to have flowers, and I like
Yes.
that. So there you go.
Those are the predictable ones. Now here's an interesting one. Over in the UK here we have what's known as Harvest Festival, and it's coming up to this time of the year now, the autumn, where it's a tradition within this country that the crops are all brought in and the farmers have got all their stocks in for the winter. And then you make a celebration to God through a harvest festival. At school they bring in tins, fruit and lots of different types of food, and to make a celebration of it that the Creator has provided for another year. It goes back hundreds of years, this particular festival.
But we were never allowed to do that as Jehovah's
No.
Witness children. I remember that all the other children in my class and my school would take in tins of food to put in a box, and then
Yeah.
that box would then be distributed
To the needy.
to the needy,
Yeah,
elderly,
yeah.
or people
And
who
we
were
didn't do it, did we?
really in need. Nothing. We never did anything like that.
No.
So, but now we can give freely of
Yeah.
our time, our energy, and anything we can spare to be able to help those that need it more. So that's just a wonderful feeling. What on earth is wrong with that?
What's
There's
wrong with
nothing
giving?
wrong with that.
Well, it's giving,
It's
isn't
giving,
it?
I
And
suppose,
showing
yeah.
love.
So it's soup kitchens,
Yeah.
isn't it? Working out in soup
Yeah,
kitchens.
giving and showing love. We can't do that in the Watchtower.
Helping
So
out at the YMCA and places like that.
Yeah.
You know, you couldn't do anything like that as
No.
a JW. So those are little tips.
just that's another little, just
Yeah.
a little thing, but boom. Now, going to the first time we went to a church together was the Trinity Church around the corner here.
was to watch Nigel Benn.
Remember the
Well, he actually wasn't to watch him box.
He was
was it?
he was a world champion middleweight boxer, and
Mm.
most people that know boxing know Nigel Benn. Well, now he's a pastor. He's a Christian pastor, and he had a very interesting story, and his wife was just as interesting. Both of them together, fantastic.
They live out in Spain now, don't they?
Yeah, Mallorca, I think, and
Mm.
they've even got their own church, from what I can gather. But
But he was explaining about how his life had turned around from sex, drugs, and basically sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yeah, and-
that kind of lifestyle that comes along with fame.
Yeah.
on that type of scene, and when you're a celebrity, you got wrapped up in all sorts. And their marriage was on the breaking point so many times.
She was so patient with him, and he was just really up his own backside, as he said himself. And his life went through a massive turnaround, and he became a Christian. And he's a very different man now. So yeah, that was interesting, going to a church and sitting there with this big congregation and listening to the testimony of a world champion boxer.
Now, just to walk into a church itself, to sit down and actually hear something happening, you do feel, oh my goodness, I'm walking into Satan's den, because you've been told and instilled in your brain as witnesses that churches are Christendom.
Babylon the Great.
You mustn't go into a church at all. Now, we weren't going in there to do anything other than to hear somebody give their testimony, and we still don't belong to a church ourselves now, but you know, again, that's something else that somebody might choose to do, and that's another thing you can go tick.
That's fine.
So that's your own choices.
And one of the first things we sung in the church for the first time. And that was Nigel wanted everybody to sing a song that everybody knew. Apart from us, which was Amazing Grace.
We did. Well, we knew some of the words, but again, that song was one we would never be able to listen to. I now listen to people like Casting Crowns, and if you've never heard of them, they're a really lovely group. And I love most of their songs.
Oh, sorry, I'm
jumping the gun. Well, if I repeat myself, I can't help it. We never have stuff written down.
I know. Well, anyway, going to a church. Yes. That was another one that ticked off the bucket list.
Partaking of the memorial.
Now, this is an interesting one. We've done this. We did this a few times at home together.
Yeah, as a family.
And then we decided to do it with Mike and Kim. And it was a wonderful event.
Fantastic,
we really enjoyed it, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we weren't sure what the reception would be out there, but the comments that have come through, both on the YouTube itself and in emails, were amazing. And so it seemed to have a knock-on effect for others who incidentally still use that video to sit when especially if they're living on their own, and they'll watch the video and they'll partake themselves. And I think that's absolutely wonderful.
Because we were saying to Mike and Kim, and this is why we decided to do the video, was that if somebody had a video out there when we first left, to kind of give us an idea that it was okay, we would probably have done it straight away. You know, straight away. And I mean, we did, but it felt, we weren't sure if we were doing it right. But then we came to the conclusion there is no right or wrong way, as long as you are partaking of those emblems and a recognition of the gift that was given us all freely. And that's the main thing, and I think that's what it is. But that's another one.
That was wonderful. So thank you, Mike and Kim. That's always in the history book now, and
plan on doing it again with you both.
Oh yes, we're looking forward to that. Singing happy birthday in a public place. We've done that now.
We've done that several times. We did
restaurants, and
it was nice. It's so nice to be in a restaurant and somebody goes, right, if we can have everybody's attention, this is Edward's birthday, we're going to sing happy birthday to Edward. And then you're sat there,
we don't know who Edward is,
and now we're the loudest people in the restaurant, and they're all looking at us going, my goodness,
who are those raving lunatics over there?
We're the loonies. But Charlotte, when we took Charlotte to build a bear with her friends, it was actually on her birthday, on the 2nd of September. So we were in there building a bear, and we told them that it's her birthday, so she got a special birthday sticker, which she was like chuffed because she had this sticker, I'm a birthday girl. And with that, another 3 people came in. One was 16, one was a 2-year-old. So we ended up singing happy birthday 3 times. And it's lovely because we were all, by the 3rd time, we were really in the swing of it.
And do you know what? They were all strangers when they all walked in. By the time we all
knew each other.
We all knew each other. They're fantastic. But that's what it can do. It's just expressions of love. And so yes, it was nice to be able to break through that barrier.
Tick.
If we were Jehovah's Witnesses, we would have gone, oh my goodness.
Yes, where can I hide?
Where can I hide? I've got to find a corner somewhere and hide under a table and pretend it's not happening. Remember those days, I'm sure,
Cringe.
Anyway, another one. We gave blood, didn't we? Yes, we gave blood.
Something somebody may not want to do, but again, we felt it was, as soon as we gave that blood, it was like another barrier smashed down with a hammer. It really was amazing. Because we now know that blood that they took from us will go to give somebody an opportunity to have a better opportunity of survival with whatever reason they need it for.
It'll help with blood products, or it'll help somebody stay alive.
And it may even be another JW somewhere in the country or somewhere in the world that needs it.
I think we've actually done a video on that to say that because we love you, this is why we've done it. Jehovah's Witnesses. We're donating because you can't.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was another one. It was another breakthrough.
And now we're on the stem cell donation.
Stem cell donation and organ transplant, that type of thing. We're donators to that now, donors. So that was another big one. Right, and this one's interesting.
This is one we did the other week. Seriously, I have known Cheltenham my entire life, okay? Now, I've just got to give you a little bit of an idea about where we're located. One of the oldest buildings in Cheltenham is the church that's directly behind my grandparents' house.
The oldest building.
It's the oldest building in Cheltenham. And from the outside, it's always looked very dark, very dingy, and we as kids always used to call it the graveyard.
The graveyard.
Because it is a graveyard. It's surrounded by gravestones and tombs, and there's inside where my grandparents live, you could sit on their roof of their property and you could stare over, and we used to watch people in the graveyard all the time. It used to be a hangout for drunks years ago, until they moved on. Anyway, never been in it. Heard the bells for every Sunday. They'd ring the bells for the church, and I loved that sound because it reminded me of going to my grandparents' home, which I loved to do as a kid. So it was really nice. It's a sound that I just love. That it gives me a warm feeling inside. Now, knowing that those bells are there, but we've never ever been in that church.
No.
And Mark and I on a Saturday, we'd had to take Charlotte somewhere, and we dropped her off, and we thought, well, should we go and have a cup of coffee? And because it was early, we went round the corner, and there's a place called the Boston Tea Rooms, and I hadn't been in there because it's not long opened. And we went in, had a cup of coffee, and as we were coming out, walking back through the graveyard, they had a sign outside saying open day. Please come on in. And then we're like, okay. So we went in. It's massive inside.
Beautiful.
The architecture and the stonework, the windows, stunning inside. Stunning. And there were loads of plaques, and there was lots of things, and the 10 Commandments and everything on the wall, and wonderful place. So, I mean, I was just shocked at how bright and airy and beautiful it was inside compared to the outside.
And the history in it was just incredible.
And I wrote in the visitor's book, known this church my entire life, watched it from afar, heard the church bells but never entered. First time of entering today, we will be back.
Yeah.
And the other thing that we did, which is also on our list, which I'm probably jumping the gun.
No, it's on that one. There we go.
We donated. We put £5 in there as a contribution box.
Did you put £5 in?
Yeah, sorry.
You never told me that.
Yeah, I did.
£5?
I put £5 in.
You put £5 in there?
Yeah, because it was almost like £5 because it was beautiful, and I thoroughly enjoyed my visit.
You can go and get that back.
And that's how the church, keeps itself going.
Yeah, it was lovely. It was a real historical building.
And I enjoyed my visit. So we paid for our visit.
The thing about that church was that you could see the layers of community through history, through the hundreds of years it's been there. You could see the history of our community that we now live in. Through that church, and so it was incredible. Anyway, the next one, voting.
Never voted in my life, have now. Felt fantastic. I was thinking, oh, who should I vote for? Who's going to get my vote? It's my first vote, so it's very important to me that I get it right.
Well, this was council for the council elections, so that was.
But it was still voting.
Yeah, it was still voting. Yeah. Next one, we went to the Gold Cup.
The races here in Cheltenham, very famous.
Yeah, it's world famous, Cheltenham Gold Cup.
Live round the corner from the race course. Never been. And we were given tickets, and we went, let's go. Even put a bet on, and I won it. We've actually got
I've got a little bit of video clip. It's not very long. It's only about 30 seconds to a minute.
Shall I put it on the end of the video?
If we can, if not, we'll have to
I'll
put
see
it
if
on
I can. If not,
we don't promise it just yet. But it's on a phone. But it shows Cora with a woolly hat on because it was such a cold day.
It was a really cold day.
And we were cheering these horses on, and she ends up winning with her bet. And
can I just say, sorry, but Mark was cheering because one of the jockeys that was in the lead fell off. Everybody else is going, oh, and he's going, yes!
Yes!
I was like, you can't say yes!
And because we were second, we were now first.
But anyway.
And so we won some money.
So anyway, she was okay, the jockey was okay.
It was great fun. Anyway, great fun. But that was another one off the list.
Yeah.
And
we went and talked to a vicar
Yeah.
about Christ, because it was one of our customers, and although we would never have done work for her in the past, but we did, went and cleaned her carpets at her home.
And we had a lovely chat about the Bible, and it was together.
Yeah.
It wasn't competing.
No, not trying to convert, and she wasn't trying to convert. We were just having a discussion.
Right, the next one, we've got to move on a bit because there's quite a few of these. We prayed in the high street with other Christians.
When we first left, we were very, very low, weren't we? And I didn't want religion at all. I didn't want Christ. I didn't want anything in my life at all. And we're walking along the high street, three of us, Charlotte, myself and Mark, and we saw these Christians, and they were offering prayer healing for, like, you know, people who needed a bit of comfort and solace with other people.
Yeah.
And they were praying with them, and I didn't want to be. Mark dragged me over, kicking and screaming. I was going, "I hate you! What are you doing? You're dragging me over!"
Said, "Come
but
on,
you know,
we're going."
they prayed for us, and it was another barrier. I would never have prayed in the open like that with anyone ever.
No.
I would have been so embarrassed. But you know, I was embarrassed, but that embarrassment turned to relief, and it turned to another little hurdle.
Yeah.
And whether I'll do that again, I don't know, but I've done it, and so it was another barrier.
Yeah, it was another barrier, and a good one too. Making lots of so-called worldly friends.
Yes.
Yeah, we've got quite a few friends now that are certainly not religious. We've got friends of all different types and natures and creeds and colours, and we've got some, you know, that
living in Australia, some that are living in America, some that are living in Canada, some in South Africa.
A real variant
wonderful
of belief systems.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
And it's wonderful, and it's so nice because no one's telling us who we can and cannot be friends with. And that's the beautiful thing.
Yeah. St. Valentine's Day, we love that one.
Yes, it's very romantic.
Because it's time for it to be romantic.
Yes, we usually try and go away, don't we?
Yeah, do we like to be romantic, don't we?
Yes, we do, yes.
Do you like to be romantic?
Yes, I do.
Do you?
Yes, I do. Yes, I
Are you
do.
going to remember this Valentine's Day?
I did remember last one.
I didn't say you didn't.
Well, they were, yes.
All right then, okay.
Anyway.
Now, this one a lot of people won't agree with, and some will, but please just take it for what it is. Halloween parties. We had a big party here for Charlotte and
her school friends.
And her friends, 13 kids running amok around the house.
Yeah, I know.
It was crazy.
We dressed up.
Yeah.
Mark put on a mask on and frightened the living daylights out of all of them, sticking his head out the window and then chasing them around the house.
I frightened myself when I looked in the mirror.
It's awful. I'm not going to show you it because it's awful. And then another one, Easter. I mean, there's ways of doing Easter, obviously, with the memorial of Christ's death.
Yeah.
And his gift that he gave us all, which is all obviously around the memorial.
Yeah.
And the partaking of that.
Yeah.
So it's linked with that really. But then you've got the other side, which is more commercial side, with like the bunnies and the Easter eggs and things like that. But to see children's faces when they're getting a chocolate Easter egg on Easter Day, rather than going to the shops the next day when they're all reduced, which you do, all you JWs out there, you cannot tell me that you don't do that, because I know that majority of the Cheltenham JWs do, because they can't wait. They go and they get these Easter eggs half price.
Anyway, it's always good fun. Another one is investigating other religions and talking to them.
Yes.
We've done a lot of that. We've done, and we're not trying to convert people, because that's not what we're about.
And we're not investigating with the idea of joining them. No. It's just that we need an understanding.
We want to understand other religions.
Yeah, because we were never allowed to do that before. No. And that's the difference. We are in charge of our own destinies here. We are in charge of... I'm in charge of Coralie Latham. Mark is in charge of Mark Latham.
Yeah. So each of us makes a choice about what, if anything. Some people are atheists and agnostics, and we've got, you know, and there's Christian. We've talked to a lot of Muslims recently, and Mormons, and just interested in understanding their faith and where they're coming from. That's always been really good.
Anyway, investigating Watchtower. Investigating. So you're talking about investigating different religions.
We've done a
little bit of research on them. Not a lot.
Not a lot that you wouldn't guessed.
Another one linked is saying cheers, toasting,
cheers,
grabbing a wine,
cheers, everybody,
cheers. Watching Downton Abbey later, so cheers to Downton Abbey.
It's lovely to do that in a restaurant. I go, come here, love. Cheers.
And you go round the table. The problem is, we have to do it several times because it's such a nice thing to do.
Yeah, we just keep doing it.
So it's a kind of, cheers, cheers, cheers. And you don't get to eat or drink because you're constantly making cheers. It's funny,
anyway.
Charlotte, she's gone to Bible camp.
The second time she's been
there. Second year running. She loves it. Yep. She's not forced. She wants to go. We gave her the option. She said, yes, I want to go again. Yep. Came back. Talking 19 to the dozen like she normally does, but it was happy talk. She'd learnt things and picked things up and associated with people and had fun and did lots of activities, and it's wonderful.
They have a wild week. They play lots of games, and some of it's challenging, and they do a little bit of scripture as well, and it's just a wonderful time to understand the Bible a little bit more, and to be amongst associated friends, and she loves it.
Donating to charity.
Donating to charities. Yes, we do that.
We do that.
We do that now, Watchtower.
Yeah,
we donate.
Do you donate to charities?
Do you donate to Watchtower? Do you donate? Oh, no, to yourselves.
You accept donations.
That's right.
Because you're a charity. My arse.
Now, excuse me. There isn't one that many ex-witnesses might have a real issue with, but for me. It wasn't. It was a boundary for me, and I took it because I wanted to do this, and a lot of thought and prayer went into it. But I wear a crucifix from time to time. I've got one over my bed now, and I keep it there. And I don't wear it all the time because it's jewellery, but I do wear it. And for me, that was another barrier.
A lot of people wear it for fashion. We wear ours because it means something.
Yeah, it means something to us.
And now that we understand the meaning behind the cross. And that is a very fascinating thing. In fact, we might do a video on that sort of soon. But anyway, how they've got it so wrong in the Watchtower, they really have.
Well, like everything else.
Singing along to Christmas songs, Christian songs. There you are. But even Christmas songs as well. Christian songs, Christmas songs. I've got a Christmas album. I've got a Christian album. I've got all sorts. And I say album. Look how old I am. CD. There you go.
Lots of Christian songs, whether they're Christmas or. But there's some beautiful songs out there written by Christians, and they're very, very spiritual, and we love them.
Buying a lottery ticket.
Buying a lottery ticket.
All of you JWs out there that have always, I bet I'd win if I put some money on.
Yeah.
Now I know for a fact that my grandfather, because he was never a Jehovah's Witness, my grandmother is, and the matriarch of the JW family, she would give my grandfather numbers. And because he was doing it, it was okay, because if he didn't make it through to Armageddon, it's because he wasn't baptised, so that's okay. Never figure that one out.
No.
He used to ask us all, what's your numbers? And I used to give him 2 and 6. Those were the 2 numbers I always used to give him. I don't know why, but there you go.
If you see our hand going like this, it's because Cora's doing it to me and I've been doing it to her.
I'm going, come on, because we've only got about 14 minutes before the battery goes.
Right, there's another one.
Clothes. Sisters out there, ex-sisters, people who were witnesses that are no longer witnesses. Were you ever told that your top was too low, your shoulder was showing too much shoulder, your skirt's too short, your skirt's too long, you shouldn't be wearing denim, but you can wear this? Well, and you can't have your hair a certain way, but you can't
be showing any cleavage.
Yeah, you can't do this, you're wearing too much makeup. All these things, you know what? Throw them out the window. Wear what you want to wear. If you want to get those ripped jeans with those little holes in that you've always fancied wearing, but they were considered a bit sexy, doesn't matter. Go and buy them. I've got a pair. I love my ripped jeans. Absolutely love them.
There we are. Well said. Next one. Stubble, a beard, and we've debated this one lots of times, haven't we? But
what's the good thing is the fact that Mark's beard does get quite long, and then he says, "Well, it doesn't matter. I'm allowed one," and I'm going, "I don't care because I love it."
Shall I keep it long today, or shall I? And then
it's
you
entirely
shave it
up
for
to
me.
you.
So,
I trim him.
The dear wife always shaves it for me. Anyway, tattoos. Yeah, I've got a couple of tattoos, and but if we want tattoos, then we shall have tattoos.
Yes.
If we don't, then we don't.
In fact, Charlotte, for her birthday, was bought some henna tattoo stuff, so I put this henna tattoo on all of the children's arms and up their hands, and
it was lovely,
and
wasn't
it was really pretty, and obviously it wears off, it doesn't wash off straight away.
It takes a while.
So tattoos.
This is one. Remember, thank you, Mike. Well, I'm going to say it once again, Mike and Kim, for you sent me a lovely little action man, and the reason we're saying that is because there are toys that we were never allowed when we were kids, and some of you might have seen a video that we did a while back called, is that what it was called? Yeah. Where I've cammed up and I'm doing this with my action man. It's because I could never have an action man when I was a child.
We were always prevented from having certain toys, or not allowed to watch certain things or certain films or whatever. And Stephen Hassan mentioned recently in one of the workshops we attended in London that you can rewrite your memories. So you can rewire your memories and rewire your brain how you want to remember them. And I thought this was a really good technique.
Very
There's
helpful.
something that's bothering you about something in your past, and there's something that you wanted to have as a child, for example, that you couldn't ever have, be it because your parents couldn't afford it or you weren't allowed it, then go back in your mind, buy that toy and play with that toy, so you're rewiring those memories so that actually you can then move forward. And I thought that's a very interesting
very therapeutic.
Very therapeutic.
Yep.
And I know that Tony Prime's done that, because I've seen all of your Transformer figurines, which, by the way, is it Transformers, Robots in Disguise? That's how I remember it as a kid. And I too love those, so I'm so jealous of your collection. Don't sell them for that jag. Please don't sell them, because they're lovely.
A few days ago we went to another lecture in London and to talk about cult awareness, and this one was to do with violence. But while we were there, we were networking with other people, and we're actually going back to London now to do a testimony to a very secret group that's known as the Family Support Group. And it's groups and families that are from different cults, that come together, that have lost people in cults, or that they're recovering from cults.
Yeah, it's lovely, but we can't say too much about it.
No, we can't say a lot.
Yeah, but it's nice to know that there are other groups out there that have been around since the 70s and 80s that we never even knew about.
And it's a very good group, so we're going along to do that, aren't we?
We are.
And so, yes, now, ones that we haven't done yet. Things that very quickly...
Alternative holistic medical treatments, so things like acupuncture and Reiki and all these things, and maybe going and having yoga or doing Pilates, or things that you would look at that you were not allowed to do as JWs, because it meant some form of meditation, which they would have said is dangerous because you're allowing the demons you're allowing way for the demons. And I always wondered, why would that be the case with yoga and Pilates? I don't understand how that makes way for Satan. Anyway.
Yeah.
But
who knows? We could have more tattoos if we wanted them.
Yeah.
Who knows? We probably won't, but you never know.
Join a church if you wish.
Possibly. We don't know. We probably won't at the moment. That's the way we feel. But starting a Christian ministry is something we were talking with this vicar, and she thought we'd be really good at doing something like that, and we should get sponsorship and actually start a collection of churches that she could help us with. So that's another option. Something
like travelling around and doing what she called an itinerant ministry, which sounded really interesting.
It did.
Maybe not. It's a choice.
Politics.
Yeah.
We can get involved in politics now if we want to, and who knows? That might be something. I'm certainly interested in that sort of thing as well.
Education. You could go and actually get that further education you never ever had. That degree you wished you'd pushed yourself in a certain area and you never did, and you weren't allowed. Well, there's nothing to stop you. No time is ever too late.
Is your oyster on that one.
It's up to you, and if that's something you have on your list, then do it. Don't hold back and go, well, maybe in the future.
Maybe next year.
Do it. There is no time like today.
Jump straight into it and enjoy it. Your art classes, you're about to start a new one.
Well, I think I've missed a week or so at the new scene, but that's a long story. Lots have happened to us this week. But there you go.
so art classes for you, which is, I know, something that Cora really enjoys. Maybe yoga is something that we were thinking about looking at. That's it, love. Is
that all our list?
That's the whole list now. Yes.
Oh, well, there you are.
That's it.
Well, that's good, because the time is about to go off.
It's about to run out.
Anyway, we just wanted to give you a few things to think about with regards to things you can do, things you might do, things you may want to do. It's entirely up to you. Do you know why? Because your life is your life.
And you're breaking free. You're breaking free to how you want to live your life.
You may do something and wish and think, well, I've done it now and I don't want to do it ever again. That is absolutely fine. But the point is, you don't realise just how much that heals your whole mental outlook on life. Yep. We've been speaking to so many people that have been out for 20, 30 odd years that have never done certain things because they've still got this barrier saying you can't. Yeah, and it's all in here. It's all in here. Yeah. So break those mental chains. Do not allow the watchtower to keep you in chains. You are free. We're not telling you to go off and commit crime. We're not telling you to do things that, you weren't allowed to do that, but let's go and do that. I'm not saying jump off a cliff or jump off a bridge or anything. Just unless it's a bungee. Unless it's a bungee attached to your foot, which is another one. Risking your life on a bungee jump. Yeah, would you do that? I wouldn't do that. The reason we've mentioned also all of these is just to give ourselves an idea of how far we've come since we resigned from that toxic controlling group. And life has been very interesting ever since. We've done so much, and it's only when we started looking back at the things that we've actually achieved and done we realised that, and it's surprising how quickly the time goes. It does. And how free we feel inside, and I think that might have a lot to do with the fact that we've broken these barriers down with a sledgehammer. We haven't just ignored them and kept those mind-numbing ideas that you're fed as part of the watchtower. So, but anyway, have fun with them. Make your own list.
We've made some wonderful friends out there. Most of them are on the internet. Genuine friends that we love and trust.
With genuine, unconditional love.
We're not going to try and mention you all because there's just too many, and I would hate to miss someone if I start going through the names. But you know who you are, and we love you all dearly. And
hopefully we'll meet a load more of you soon.
Yes, yes. So we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for patiently listening to us gabble on.
Now I've been cooking a slow piece of pork today for pulled pork, so I've got to go and check it now. It's been in for 3.5 hours.
Dosed in cider as well, so the smell in the house is absolutely delicious.
Yes.
There you go.
It is looking pretty good earlier.
All right, then we'll say goodbye for now.
Lots of love and speak to you soon.
Take care. Bye-bye for now.
Take care. Bye-bye.
What's his name?
Falsified.
The second.